I guess you know what time it is. Yeah, I know, because it's about that time for the Toni G. Campbell podcast.
Hello and welcome to Conversations with Toni G. Campbell, the podcast. This is the show for my Gen X warriors, all about our challenges and victories. And on this episode, we're going to talk about getting married later in life and raising a second set of children. Tell me, if you have ever found yourself getting married later in life, and when I say later in life, I mean like 35 years old or older. Tell me if you have raised children to the ripe old age of 18 years old and then decided to reproduce again. I know, what were we thinking, right? Now, if you have experienced either or both of these scenarios, leave me a comment on my website, ToniGCampbell.com. And right after this word from our sponsors, I will come back with my co-host for today, Tyrone Campbell, to dive deep into this conversation. Stay tuned.
1, 2, 1, 2, and I say this is Ty Controller, and I'm here to talk about Dip Square. Dip Square is an online shop that specializes in unique graphic t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and other apparel. They also offer services like personalized mugs and shoes. Did I just say shoes? Yeah, you can get sneakers with your picture on them at Dip Square. They also have tote bags and other items. Right now, you can save on t-shirts every day by using the discount code ILOVETEES. That's ILOVETEEZ. You get 14% off because every day is Valentine's Day at Dip Square. So check them out online at dipsquare.com. Dipsquare.com. I guess you know what time it is. Yeah, I know, because it's about that time for the Toni G. Campbell podcast.
Welcome back. Today we are talking about getting married later in life and raising a second set of children. My co-host for today is Tyrone Campbell, who happens to be my amazing husband.
Yes.
Hello, hubby.
Hello, sweet wife.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and congratulations on your podcast. I'm very proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. Trying to make me cry all up in here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about this getting married late in life.
Yes.
Now, how many times have you been married?
Once to you. That's it. I've been engaged a couple of times, and I'm glad I did not get married to those people that I was engaged to because I was not mature enough or ready to be a husband.
Now, at what age did you decide to marry me?
Let's see. I decided at age 40, but I was 41 when we got married.
Well, I was 36 when we got married.
Yes.
And I had been engaged before, just one time, even though I've been asked more than once, but that's irrelevant at this point. So why did you get married so late in life?
Well, just to be honest, and that's what I plan to be, just to be honest, I got married late in life because I learned late in life how to be a responsible man and an accountable man and not a boy.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that because I did not want to marry a boy. That's why I did not marry those other jokers before you.
All right.
So what advice or advantages could you tell people of today, why getting married later in life may be a little bit better than getting married earlier in life?
Well, I'm not going to say that getting married later in life has an advantage if you got married younger in life. It all depends on who poured into you when you were younger. And what I mean by that is I had no role models. show or tell me what, first of all, getting married and relationship was all about. I'm from New York, and the only thing we learned in New York was, get as many notches on your belt that you can, go out and have a good time, party, hook up, and that was it. It was never anybody telling me about relationships, and especially long-term ones, and the roles and responsibilities of a man.
Well, and for me, I would say that growing up, I really didn't have any role models that walked out a good, healthy marriage in my eyes, because I cannot remember anyone at that time in my family who was married for any length of time, or was probably married at that point, because I think everyone had been divorced at least once or twice by the time I decided to get married. So that was a scary thing for me. My role models, as I've told people before, were TV characters like Little House on the Prairie, which gave me a weird sense growing up, because that was not my life living in Philadelphia. Growing up in a single mother home. I guess it just gave me something to aspire to.
Well, my role models, I would say they're kind of my role models. My grandmother and grandfather were married forever. They got married at 16, and it was till death did them part. But my grandfather never sat me down and explained what being a husband or provider or, saving money. He never did anything like that. He made sure I knew how to change locks and was very handy, and then my aunts and uncles were married, and my sister was married, but they were gone. I didn't have that role model teaching me how to be a man. I was taught how to be a gentleman, hold the door, let a lady sit down. If you're in the room, stand up, take your hat off in the house. And
okay.
I was taught that stuff, but I wasn't taught about relationships. I was just taught to go have fun. And, it was just weird because they would always say, don't get married until you're 30. Because I guess let the wildness out of young males get out.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I was told that.
I'm pretty sure conversations growing up were always different for women versus men. Because, the conversations that I got were, don't get pregnant. That's all.
Yeah, I got those conversations. Don't bring no babies home, So, but it wasn't even. I got a don't bring the baby home conversation, but I didn't go find a man that finds his wife finds a good thing. I didn't get that conversation at all. It was just don't bring no babies home. And make sure you use protection and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it was. I don't know. It's just weird growing up we both from up north, but growing up in these cities, it's more like you're going to be out there in the clubs or doing whatever you're going to do. Just don't bring no kids home or whatever. So.
Okay. Now, I will tell you, my mother did give us this advice. She always told us not to date anyone in the neighborhood. She always wanted us to strive for, I guess, a better caliber of man. But I'm like, all we saw were the people in the neighborhood. I mean, granted, I didn't date anyone in the neighborhood or marry anyone in my neighborhood, but it was a weird conversation because it was like, don't marry anyone. I mean, don't date in the neighborhood. But then I wasn't allowed to go too far away from the neighborhood. So.
I should have listened to Belle Biv DeVoe and not trust a big butt and a smile because...
Hey.
Yeah, well, yeah, for real. And well, first of all, I really didn't date a lot because I was like, I'm not trying to spend my money on somebody I don't know. And it was just easier just to hook up with people, and you see them when you see them. But I got caught out there with that big butt and the smile, and that's looking at the person from the outside, thinking that, hey, I hit the jackpot because everybody's sweating her, and they like, oh, you lucky, from the way the person looked. But on the inside, no, that I didn't know nothing about the person on the inside. And then 6 months later, here comes one of my kids, Tori, and I'm like, well, I have to deal with a situation that I didn't have any research on or invest the time to get to really know a person. And so, I'm a father, and I was 25, but still, I was, according to other people's advice to don't get married till you're 30, whatever. Then, yeah, if I was protecting myself at those times, during my 20s, then, I would have a different life right now. So that's it.
Okay. That is awesome. Now, this is a great conversation so far, but we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back.
1 2 1 2, and I say this is Tide Controller, and I'm here to talk about Dip Square. Dip Square is an online shop that specializes in unique graphic t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and other apparel. They also offer services like personalized mugs and shoes. Did I just say shoes? Yeah, you can get sneakers with your picture on them at Dip Square. They also have tote bags and other items. Right now, you can save on t-shirts every day by using the discount code I Love Tees. That's I Love TEEZ. You get 14% off because every day is Valentine's Day at Dip Square. So check them out online at dipsquare.com. Dipsquare.com. I guess you know what time it is. Yeah, I know, because it's about that time for the Toni G. Campbell podcast.
Welcome back. This is Toni G. Campbell, and I'm here with my co-host for today, Tyrone Campbell, my awesome, amazing husband.
Well, thank you, honey.
And we are still talking about getting married later in life.
Yes.
So, okay, now that we've established our prehistory before marriage, getting married at the ripe old age of 36 and 41.
Yes.
He was older, of course.
Of course.
From your precepts or your pre-thinking about what marriage was supposed to look like, once you got into it, how different was it for you?
Once I got into marriage?
Yeah. Once you married this awesome, wonderful woman.
Well, okay, so first of all, I didn't have a precept of what marriage was supposed to be. What I had was a knowledge of what I was supposed to do in a marriage. So it's like I can't paint a picture. I didn't paint a picture in my head. Well, my wife is going to be like this, and this is how our life is going to be. No, I had to just say, this is what I'm going to be responsible for in the marriage. This is the type of behavior and trust and providing I'm going to give to my wife. And I laid everything out on the table. We were talking about this earlier at dinner, but I said, this is who I am. And because we met in church, everybody, we knew of each other. We worked together, so we were friends. But when we got to know each other on an intimate level, that's when I was able to be a little bit more vulnerable and transparent about who I am. And that's when you said, okay, I can accept who I am. and you let me know who you were, and then we both worked together. So I think, there were adjustments as far as sharing space with someone, but for real, not shacking up. When you shacking up, that's one thing, but when you are living with somebody and you're combining households, it's really an adjustment.
Especially when it's two fully grown people with a lot of stuff of their own.
Yeah. So, but to answer your question, I didn't have this thought in my mind. So therefore I was not like disappointed or anything. Everything has been learning experience from day one. Even how when we were engaged to getting married, that whole process, some people, I guess we're engaged now, we can live together. No, we didn't do that. We were like, okay, we're engaged. The only thing I got from you was your key, and you got my key, so I was able to enter your apartment with my own key, walk the dog or something, because you might have been at work or whatever. But I did not live there. I didn't have a toothbrush at your house. I didn't have shoes at your house. And same thing with me. So we respected each other's space. And
I don't even remember having a key to your place.
Yeah, you did.
I did?
Yeah, you used to come in when I was used to come in. You had a key to get in. But remember, I had roommates.
I was going to say, you had a roommate. Yeah. So I don't think I remember using a key, maybe, because someone probably
I think you used it one time.
Always home.
Yeah, I think you used it one time. But still, that was just symbolic for us to say, look, you have access to each other's space, but we did not abuse that. We did not take it for granted. Like, oh well, we're engaged, so it's all right to do A, B, and C. And I'm just I'm glad that we stuck to at least 99% of our guns. I'm not painting a picture that we was 100%. By the book, you can't do this, you can't do that.
We're in no way perfect people.
Right.
Well, for me, like I said, most of my role models for marriage were like Little House on the Prairie. It was Jackie Gleason's Honeymooners, the old shows, And what I did not realize was those shows were actually preparing me for my actual marriage, because at that point, if you would have ever asked me if I was going to get married and become a stay-at-home wife and mother, I would have told you, heck no. But then I realized that the shows that I watched were all, even the Flintstones. I'm going to tell you, Flintstones was one of my favorite shows. It still is. I still watch it, honest. Were wives that stayed at home and took care of the house. And I was like, wow. And I actually really just came to that conclusion recently, didn't I?
Yeah.
And I was like, I did not know that, God will put things in your life to probably give you a peek into your future without you realizing that that's going to be your future.
And it's crazy. I remember being younger, or when I was in other situations, when you're shacking up, everything is, well, where's your half? Shacking up is a 50-50 deal. No matter how you slice it. I don't care how much money someone is making, you're shacking up. When you're shacking up, there's no one pool of money. There's always two pools of money, and everybody chips in and pays the bills and pays the rent, or my half, whatever. So you're pretty much in a Dutch relationship. There's two names, so there's two checks or whatever. But when we got married, let me go back to what I was saying. What I was originally saying is, when you have that mentality of shacking up, or not being in that situation where your quote unquote wife stays home and doesn't have to work. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I never thought, because I've never really seen that played out. I've always seen two people working. Uh-huh. And so one thing that we were very smart about, one thing that we were very smart about was, first of all, we live on a budget. And if you remember the first house we rented, now we were making six figures combined with our salaries.
Yes.
And the first house we rented, we were like, no, we're not paying no more than $900.
Yes.
And so the guy was like, but you guys can afford like $4,000 a month. We're like, why are we going to spend $4,000 a month? No.
Exactly. That's ridiculous.
We're like, no, we want a house. We're not paying more than $900. So we found this house. We found 3 houses, but the one we settled on was $950. So we paid that for 2 years, and we lived below our means.
Yes.
And so
paid off all our debt.
Yeah, we sure did. I mean, we were just knocking debt off. And confession is, we went in our marriage with low credit scores, and our credit scores are ridiculous right now because we had some discipline. But I say all of that because when I learned about responsibility and being a provider, and knowing that your wife is still of childbearing age, even at 36, she was still childbearing age.
Apparently.
Yes. There is a possibility that there's a possibility that you may stay home. Whether you request it or you might be forced into it because it might be a health risk or whatever. So there is a possibility that you are staying home. So the way we structured our lives was around one income. And we did that from day one. So we always lived like we only had one income. When we had the second income, we were able to bless people and do other things. But we have been blessed to live below our means, to be good stewards of what God has given us. And that has afforded you to stay home. We've been married 9 years. For you.
8 years.
Well, I'm going to count to 9.
No, I did work for a year.
No. Oh, no. Right. I'm saying we've been married 9 years.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I've been a stay-at-home wife and mother for 8.
For 8 years.
Yes.
But guess what? That's 8 years where 8 non-stressful years. Yeah, we may have those times where we're robbing Peter to pay Paul, or the money is thin. But guess what?
God always provides.
We have not been having garage sales trying to sell our computers to pay our mortgage because everything is on the budget. And sometimes on your budget, your electric bill might be $400 when you budget it because it averaged like $250 or something like that. So, and certain things happen. Something happens with your car and you got to pay. You got to use a credit card or something. But we've been real fortunate for you to be able to afford for you to be home for 90% of our marriage.
Yes.
Without stress. Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody putting a gun on your head to say, you better get your butt out there and find you a job.
True.
And so, and in all honesty, if Toni wants to find a job, that's because she is stuck in this house all the time.
I am.
And that's another conversation we'll
have. That's a whole different conversation.
But her finding, but there's no pressure for you to find a job. The main thing is you finding a job is really for your sanity. Yes. It's for your social life. And it's for you to get out of the house because your best friends for the past 6 years have been 2 little kids, which we'll segue into.
And yes, that is our next topic of conversation, is raising your second set of children. Now, I'm going to take a break.
Okay.
And we'll be right back with that conversation. Stay tuned.
1 2 1 2, and I say this is Tide Controller, and I'm here to talk about DipSquare. DipSquare is an online shop that specializes in unique graphic t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, and other apparel. They also offer services like personalized mugs and shoes. Did I just say shoes? Yeah, you can get sneakers with your picture on them at DipSquare. They also have tote bags and other items. Right now, you can save on t-shirts every day by using the discount code ILOVETEES. That's ILOVETEEZ. You get 14% off because every day is Valentine's Day at DipSquare. So check them out online at dipsquare.com. dipsquare.com. I guess you know what time it is. Yeah, I know, because it's about that time for the Toni G. Campbell podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. We will continue the conversation about raising a second set of children with my co-host for today, Tyrone Campbell, who is also my husband.
That's right.
So,
yes,
both of us brought a child into this marriage.
Yes, we did.
And actually, my child is older than your child.
Yes, he is. Yes,
by
he is.
exactly 20 months. So, after getting married to wonderful me, somehow we decided to have a child.
Well, the funny part was, and you say you don't remember this, but we got married. This is the night we got married. We went to
the night
we got married. Now we got married at night.
Yeah.
You said I'd do it like 8:58 or something like that.
It was
like nighttime. And I think about 11 o'clock, we were like, we're in our hotel. We're celebrating as husband and wife. And I'm like, well, what will make you happy? You was like, I want a baby. I'm like, okay.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Well, you was high. You was high off of bliss.
I was about to say, we had a liquorless marriage. How was I high?
You was high
a
because
wedding.
I was your husband.
Oh, that
But
must have been it.
No, you did. You said it. You said it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I didn't object to it. So, but
you sure I didn't object to it?
No, you didn't. Yeah. But so the funny part was, let's see, it was almost 3 years. So it was almost 3 years, and we've been trying, we've been practicing.
Well, I think also we had to get some things tied up, like, paying off the debt. And even though we didn't know what was about to happen, we were in preparation for it.
Right. We were open to it.
Yes.
And we were okay if it didn't happen. We were fine with that.
Yeah, we were fine with either way.
So, because we already had kids.
Yeah. Grown
kids
children.
that didn't bother us, didn't have their hands out.
Didn't live with us either.
Yeah. So that was good. So I think the cool thing was we didn't stress ourselves like we have to have a baby, we have to do, we didn't do that. But the funny part was, I think, finding out about these kids.
Well, it was one at the time.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
both of them was hilarious. Finding out for both of them, but the first one, you set that off.
Okay, the first one. All right. So 2 years in our marriage?
Yeah.
Apparently, I had been a little bit depressed. Because I'm like, at that point, I had lost my name. I left my job. We had left our church at that point, and I was the stay-at-home wife to a man who was grown and did a lot of things. So I'm like, what am I here for? I didn't know what my role in the marriage was, which is a whole completely different story. So at that point, I was like, I'm done. I wanted a divorce. Well, no, I didn't say divorce. I just told my husband I no longer thought I wanted to be married, which is not a divorce. It's just
like,
a thought.
Can we go back to dating? I'm like, no, I want to date you.
But dating was so much fun, and we only dated for what, 8-9 months.
It don't matter. Like, why would I date you?
What you mean? Why would you date me?
Because I married you. Like, why would I date you?
Because even if you marry me, you're supposed to continue to date me.
Well, we date as husband and wife.
Let me finish the story. Anyway, so after I made that statement of not wanting to be married anymore, he was like, oh, heck no. Hold up. Let's go to the pastor. Yeah. So we went to our pastor and our first lady and had a conversation. And then at the end of that conversation, my first lady was like, have you had your hormones checked? And I was like offended. Like, why it always got to be about hormones when it comes to the woman?
Because it is.
It is not.
It was your hormones.
It wasn't. Well, sort of.
Thank you.
Anywho, so I was like, fine. I'll go get my hormones checked. And then, but previous to that, I also lost my sister. My sister had passed away at the age of 40, and I was 38 at that time. Yeah. And it really freaked me out, even though she warned me about it years ago, and I told her stop being stupid. But I love you, sissy, just so in case you're listening. But, so I had lost my sister. So I was in a real deep, weird depression type situation. So I went and got my hormones checked. And then right after that, I went on a me trip back to Philadelphia. And I was like, I'm going to have a great time because I'm getting a divorce. Oh, you didn't hear that part.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
But so when I came back, the day I came back, the next day I had to go get the results of my hormones. You didn't come back did you come back to the house? I came back to the house because I had to get my car, and then I drove down to Brunswick, yes.
All the way, because it was holistic. We paid cash.
Yeah, it was a holistic place that I wanted to go make sure, they knew about me and my body. Right. And so when I got there, she was like, nothing's wrong with your hormones. And I was like, I knew it. Ain't nothing wrong with me. And she was like, do you think you may be pregnant? And I'm like, didn't I tinkle in a cup? Didn't y'all check for that? And she's like, no, we didn't. I was like, oh. I said, but I'm not pregnant. So she was like, well, let's just take a test anyway. And I said, okay. So then, all I heard after I tinkled in the cup, and all I heard was running through the office. I'm sitting in a doctor's office and you hear running. So I'm thinking I might need to find a window to climb out of or something. But it was her assistants, and they was like, yes, she's pregnant. And I was like, what? So then the doctor was like, well, come on, let's go find out how far you are. I was like, okay, because I'm still just stunned at the fact that I'm pregnant. And I was 15 and a half weeks pregnant.
So wait, so the other crazy stuff is, we going, we getting our drinks on, we riding we bought motorcycles.
We did. We bought motorcycles.
We doing all kind of daredevil stuff. And then she comes and she calls me up. She goes, guess what? I'm like, what? It's not wrong with my hormones. I'm like, well, what's the problem?
Oh, no. Remember, I told you they wanted me to take some extra test that costed more money or something.
Yeah. I'm like,
and I was like, don't you want to know why they wanted to charge us extra money? And you were like, why? I said, because I'm pregnant. Oh, it was for the ultrasound, because it was like a weird, extra expensive ultrasound.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
And then she said, you want to know how long? I'm like, 15 and a half weeks. We missed the whole first trimester because of your hormones and you trying to get divorced.
It wasn't my hormones. It was the lack of prenatal vitamins.
Right, pretty much. And once you got them vitamins, you was good to go.
I was good. I was like, I love my life.
All right, so now that's the first one. So we're like, okay, we cool. We got the first kid. And then I think after that, I kept teasing you, like, you would say something, oh, it's cold now. I'm like, you better not be pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see the TV. You better not be pregnant. And like every time she says something, like, you better not be pregnant again.
He'd be like, go take a test. I'm like,
no. I think I went to the dollar store or Walmart and bought like 10 tests.
I was like, I'm not taking no tests.
But
it was Jackie.
Well, let me tell you. I'll tell the next story. So here's the next story. So we went to
Valentine's Day.
It's Valentine's Day, and we went to Waffle House. Mm-hmm. So you have to make reservations. It's like, it's a real cool experience at the Waffle House for Valentine's Day down here. And so what they do is they got the tablecloth, they got fine, like it's on china and silverware. And so it's this experience. So we go to the Waffle House with the godparents, and Jackie's like, girl, you glowing. Like, what's up with you? Like, what's the deal with you? And, they had a good time at the Waffle House.
She was like, I think you're pregnant. Yeah. And I said, no, I'm not.
But that night we go home, and I'm telling you, it's February, right? Mm-hmm. So technically you should be cold in February, right?
You should be.
She like, it's hot in here. I'm like, you better not be pregnant. Go take a test. So she was like, fine. And so she goes into the bathroom, and she's just in there. And I'm like, she pregnant. She gonna come out all slow.
Well, you were supposed to wait 3 minutes.
You was in there like 10 minutes.
I was trying to wait the entire 3 minutes. No, I did not. I only took one.
But okay, so she was pregnant again, and now I'm going to be honest. So Kata was born in 13, so I was 40.
I was 38.
So what? I was 45.
Probably.
46?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm 46-year-old with a baby, and I'm like, I'm the old dude with the baby. And then here comes Sydney. So I'm 48 now.
I'm 39, having a baby.
So now we're like, having another one. And they're like, you're old, but still having babies. But I was glad to have the second one because I'm 48 and they could play with each other. So Sydney kind of saved me from having to really get up and get down and do a lot of playing. They play with each other, so they entertain each other very well.
No, you couldn't have been 48.
Why not?
Because you're 50 now. Oh, right,
44. So 44 and 46.
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. 44, 46. I'm 50 now.
That's why I count for all the money, people.
Yeah,
That's
there you go. There you go. So, so the experience, I guess the great part about, first of all, I want to say that my son, my relationship with him, I was weekend dad. I got him on the weekends, so I didn't get to
the first son, Tori.
So I did not get to see him every day do everyday stuff, like find your socks and, put your shoes on and do the dishes. I didn't get to see that. And then when he was 10, I moved down here. So I'm, originally from New York. I moved down to New Jersey. I moved down to Georgia when he was about 10. And I think that the blessing was having these two, Sydney and Caden, as a married person allows me to see everything that I missed out. It is extremely entertaining to watch two little kids every day, every hour of the day, do something, say something crazy, and just go back and forth with you. So that is the joy that I get out of being a father for the second time. And I even had to go to Tori and say, man, I missed it when you was younger. And I wish I would have been there to see all of the stuff, not just the weekend stuff. I wish I was able to see everything because it is the funniest thing and it keeps me young and it keeps me excited.
Well, yes, they definitely keep me on my toes, and I appreciate them too because giving birth to Marcel as a single mom, I wasn't around for him. I was working 2 jobs. I was in college, and he was basically my sister's son for at least the first 6 years of his life. He was either with my mother or my sister. So he appreciates having siblings now. At the ripe old age of 21 is when he started getting them. And now he's 27. And he just appreciates them. And his brother, Tori, they clicked. Yeah. That was amazing how they clicked instantly. So I would like to say thank you so much to my husband, Tyrone.
You're welcome.
For co-hosting with me today.
Sure.
This was awesome, and I'm sure that I'll be able to coax him into joining me again to be a co-host.
Sure.
And we're going to wrap this up. I would like to thank you all so much for taking time listening to Conversations with Toni G. Campbell. Don't forget to check our archive shows at ToniGCampbell.com, where you can also see our show notes from this episode. Don't forget to leave me a comment, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast, or tell a friend about Conversations with Toni G. Campbell. And make sure you rate and review the podcast. And as I always tell everyone, remember to be kind, be useful, and be fearless. Thank you so much.